As stated in the video title, every year that I was born, the LGBTQ plus community has done something great. And I am here today to list one substantial thing for each year. So, in 2002, Per Christian Foss became acting Prime Minister of Norway, thus was the first openly homosexual head of government in modern times. He used his voice to fight against countries with unjust regulations towards the LGBTQ plus community, such as calling upon the Lithuanian authorities to repeal laws criminalizing the freedom of expression of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender persons. In 2003, Lat became the first solely LGBT political party. It's formed in the Philippines. It tries to pass an anti-discrimination bill, which will then open the opportunity for same-sex marriages in this Southeast Asian country. As seen on its Facebook page, it still seems to exist, but it doesn't have a plan on running for electoral seats. The responsibility now falls onto the hand of Geraldine Roman, the first gender person elected to the Congress of the Philippines. In 2004, Mrs. Del Martin and Mrs. Phyllis Leon became the first same-sex couple to be legally married in the United States. At this time, they were legal in only separate states. Unfortunately, this and all same-sex marriages done in 2004 in California were annulled. In 2008, California re-allowed them, they remarried and remained the first marriage in the state. In a wild turn of events, same-sex marriages were once again illegalized in the same year, but this time the marriage remained valid. Both women worked to form the Council on Religion and the Homosexual at Glide Memorial Methodist Church, now Glide Church, to persuade ministers to accept homosexuals into churches. In 2005, Liverpool Register Office became UK's first to include a gay couple on the front cover of civil ceremony promotional material. I found no other information on this, just that it is accepted as fact in one of the city's walking tours.
Liverpool Register Office became the UK's first to include a gay couple on the front cover of the official civil ceremony promotional material.
The 2023 edition does not feature any couple, but there is a rainbow. Also, there is a large lesbian photo and several smaller same-sex photos inside. In 2006, registered partnerships began in the Czech Republic, the first nation of the former communist bloc to sanction same-sex unions. The bloc was the coalition of more than 30 communist states of Central and Eastern Europe, Asia, Africa, and Latin America. States' practices range from systematic persecutions of homosexuals in Romania to moderate tolerance of gay public spaces in Hungary. Though the surveillance and registrations of male homosexuals by the police forces or the Secret Service seem to be common throughout. Homosexual activists here has one more task of aligning their work with their country's communism. In response, communist parties had a persistently reluctant attitude. In 2007, on the 29th of November, the first foreign gay wedding was held in our capital of Hanoi, Vietnam, between a Japanese named Tadashi and an Irish national named Fraser. Not sure if it's due to archiving incompetence or a governmental-wide mission, but only one archival site keeps this information. Anyway, it's good that the Vietnamese government today gives the same rights to international residents as to locals. Regarding marriages, foreigners have to follow the Vietnamese marriageable age of 18 for males and 20 for females in order to carry out their wedding here. In 2008, Matthew Mitchum became the first openly gay athlete to win an Olympic gold medal. He won in the 10 meters platform event in Beijing. Since then, Matthew has gone on to use his platform as an ambassador, speaker, and entertainer to advocate for issues surrounding mental health and well-being, in the LGBTQIA plus community regarding sports. He has become the diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant for several sports institutes and clubs. In 2009, the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act, which is a landmark United States federal law, is passed and signed into law by President Barack Obama. With this, crimes motivated by a victim's actual or perceived gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability are now persecuted as hate crimes. The act is named after Matthew Shepard, a student who was tortured and murdered in 1998 because he was gay. James Byrd Jr. was an African American man who was tied to a truck by white supremacists, dragged behind it, and decapitated in 1998. In 2010, the United Nations Economic and Social Council voted to accredit International Gay and Lesbian Human Rights Commission, now called Upright International, consultative status, allowing them to attend UN meetings, contribute statements, and collaborate with UN agencies. In 2023, with support from Google.org, Upright launched their third Pride Around the World report and first ever interactive map, visualizing and identifying Pride and other LGBTIQ visibility events worldwide. In 2011, San Francisco Human Rights Commission released a report on bisexual visibility titled Bisexual Invisibility, Impacts and Regulations. This was the first time any governmental body released such a report. Therein, recommendations include working with the Department of Public Health to ensure that data collection addresses the experiences of bisexual people accurately and consistently, including specific, separate information on bisexuality in diversity trainings, ensuring the bisexual people are included among the speakers when there are panels, forums, and other official discussions affecting the LGBT community. In 2012, Sally Ride's obituary revealed that she had been in a 27-year relationship with Tam O'Shaughnessy, making her the first known member of the LGBT community to have served as an astronaut. Wright joined NASA in 1978, one of the first 6 women to be selected by NASA as astronauts. She was named a mission specialist for the Space Shuttle Challenger's STS-7 mission in 1983 and flew on a second mission, STS-41J, in 1984. Her job was to work the robotic arm. She used the arm to help put satellites into space. Wright stopped working for NASA in 1987. She started teaching at the University of California in San Diego. She started looking for ways to help women and girls who wanted to study science and mathematics. She came up with the idea for NASA's EarthCam (KAM) project. EarthCam lets middle school students take pictures of Earth using a camera on the International Space Station. Students then study the pictures. In 2013, Dr. Saul Levin was named the new Chief Executive Officer and Medical Director of the American Psychiatric Association, making him the first openly gay person to head the APA. APA President Petros Levinis, MD, MA, called Levin's leadership over the past decade transformative and said APA is now a stronger organization. In this year, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, includes a separate non-mental disorder diagnosis of gender dysphoria to describe people who experience significant distress with the stress In 2013, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual and Mental Disorder. In this year of 2013, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, includes a separate, non-mental disorder diagnosis of gender dysphoria to describe people who experience significant distress with the sex and gender they were assigned at birth. As an undergraduate who have studied the research methodology course, we got to work with APA 7. Therein, Chapter 5 of the APA 7 manual provides guidelines on how to use bias-free language in research papers, including avoiding cisgenderism and using correct terms such as sexual orientation in place of sexual preference, sexual identity, or sexual orientation identity. So Levin is stepping down from the positions on May 31st of 2024 to become more engaged with the World Psychiatric Association. In 2014, both lesbian parents were listed on their children's birth certificates in Australia, which is the first time an Australian birth certificate indicates that both members of the same-sex couple were the legal parents of a child at birth. A child born to a lesbian couple usually has a birth mother and a lesbian co-mother. A child born to a gay couple always has a birth mother, may have a birth father and gay co-father or two gay co-fathers. That is to say, a gay male couple in Australia cannot have a child, whether through ART or intercourse, without involving a childbearing woman. In 2015, on June 23rd, the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission unanimously approved the designation of the Stonewall Inn as a city landmark, making it the first landmark honored for its role in the fight for gay rights, considered based on its LGBT cultural significance alone. Stonewall Inn, also known as Stonewall, is a gay bar and recreational tavern at 53 Christopher Street in the Greenwich Village neighborhood of Manhattan in New York City. It was the site of the 1969 Stonewall riots, which led to the gay liberation movement and the modern fight for LGBT rights in the United States. In 2016, the first annual World LGBT Conference for Criminal Justice Professionals was held in August with the theme of To Connect and Inspire. Therein, a statement was made to urge all criminal justice sectors professionals to advocate with their governments, parliaments, and national authorities to officially prohibit requesting, participating, and using forced anal examinations, which is a form of torture and cruel, inhuman, degrading treatment that is medically worthless. In 2017, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that Russia was in breach of European treaty with the ban of what Russia considered homosexual propaganda instituted in 2013. Under the Russian legislation, any event or act regarded by the authorities as an attempt to promote homosexuality to minors is illegal and punishable by a fine. The law has been used to stop gay pride marches and to detain gay rights activists. This is the first significant international LGBT human rights judgment with consequence and effect. The court said, indeed, by adopting such laws, the authorities had reinforced stigma and prejudice and encouraged homophobia, which was incompatible with the values of a democratic society. There still is no global court that can address such issues on a transnational basis. In 2018, Love, Simon was released as the first film ever released by a major studio to focus on a gay teenage romance. But if you know me, you will definitely know that already, so I will supply you with another fact. Angela Pons represented Spain at Miss Universe 2018 as the first openly transgender contestant competing for the title.
Angela Ponce, España!
She was unplaced, and this was the year our Hanye won top 5. Miss Pons used her recognition as a platform for activism as she speaks in schools and meets with children and parents struggling with gender identity issues. She works to raise awareness for suicide prevention among trans youth, and she has participated in conferences for the doctors of the world in Spain as an advocate for transgender equality. In 2019, Taiwan became the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage. The government doesn't amend the existing marriage laws in the civil code, but rather prepare a separate law for same-sex couples. They are granted almost all the rights available to married heterosexual couples, with some exceptions. Same-sex couples cannot establish a legal parent-child relationship when they are not the child's biological or birth parent. There are some progressive points, like there is no obligation to maintain the spouse parents when the parents live in the same household as the couple. In 2020, LGBTQIA+ activists are the heroes on the front line of the COVID-19 fight. In China, they deliver HIV medication from coronavirus outbreak locations in hazmat suits and protective gear to those unable to reveal their status and ask for permission to travel. In Bulgaria, they offered free psychological support as qualified psychotherapists. In Romania, they created safe online spaces for the community to meet, socialize, and present their experiences. In 2021, Gottmik became the first openly transgender male contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race. Her infectious laughter, jaw-dropping makeup skills, and a couple of tricks up her sleeves turned her into one of the best drag queens to ever grace the show. Her Paris Hilton impersonation playing Snatch Game or her fabulous look at the ball challenge earned her a couple of wins during her season and landed her in the shared 3rd, 4th place on the 13th season. She will come back to the 9th season of All Stars this May. Her drag, he co-wrote his debut book, The Tea Guide, in 2023 with Canadian beauty influencer Gigi Gorgeous. The Tea Guide talked about the duo's trans experiences and a celebration of gender expression, men, women, non-binary, and beyond. In 2022, with the song Unholy, Kim Petras became the first openly transgender woman to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and Sam Smith became the first openly non-binary person to reach #1 on the chart. Unholy is a sexual charged electropop, dance pop, and synth pop song with choral and hyperpop influences about a family man who cheats on his wife at a strip club. In 2023, Alex Newell and J. Harrison G are the first out non-binary actors to win Tony Awards. Alex Newell, who also identifies as gender non-conforming and gender fluid, won Best Featured Actor in a Musical for their performance in Shocked. And J. Harrison G won Best Leading Actor in a Musical for Some Like It Hot. Alex Newell played Lulu, the ferociously self-reliant whiskey distiller, belting the anthem called Independently Owned, which is described as a spiritual experience. J. Harrison G played 2 roles in Some Like It Hot, one being the male musician Jerry, but then having to disguise as Daphne, which turned out to be increasingly comfortable living. Jesse Green, the New York Times chief theater critic, said the merging of the 2 identities into a third takes us into territory that's far more complex than jokey drag. And finally, in 2024, Thailand's House of Representatives overwhelmingly approved a marriage equality bill. The legislation was passed by 400 out of the 415 lawmakers present. While the law still requires approval from the Senate and endorsement from the King before it becomes law, the bill had the support of all of Thailand's major parties, and its passage is expected to proceed as a matter of course. So, you have seen all of the incredible feats made by the LGBTQ plus community in all of the years since I was born. There was more, there is more, and there will be more. So remember to give us more support so we can surely show our shine. Thank you for watching this video and see you next time.